Okay, so we're down to the part that I think is interesting. We got all the crap off the side and pull the injector harnesses off. These 9-liter engines are a way better situation than the that thing got smudged on it. I can't. Hard to keep things clean around me, I'll tell you that much. Still doesn't really look that great, does it? Hard to tell, or is the viewfinder smudged? It's hard to tell what the hell's smudged on it. Got these two off. Lay these in order because they have trim files associated. I don't know what he got for a kit. I just don't know. I'll have to talk to him when I get it all disassembled. He's got a kit and he hasn't brought it over yet. He said he wanted me to get it disassembled. I don't know if he got rods or I don't know what he got. And it was cold this morning. I came down here just at daybreak and it was one degrees coming through doors, and then by the time I got down to McDowell it was at -2 here. That's what my pickup said. I don't know how accurate that is, but it was cold. I know it's not 47 below zero and I'm in my t-shirt. Hell, it's a warm day, you know. Gotta hear about that. Everybody's got to pick their pecker out there until, you know, mine's longer than yours is. That never seems to end. Alright. One more injector, then all the little... These are kind of more set up kind of like a ISX kind of with the feed tubes and stuff in these. I like the feed tubes on these way better than the 6.8 liters. There's those 6.8s, they're a pain in the ass getting the feed tubes out of them. These here stick out externally and they got a nut on them kind of like an ISX, and they just come out. I mean, it's just, they just work. Alright, so now we can pop the injector or the rack off. Dirty bastard. Bouncy. That's one thing I don't really care for about the Milwaukee and the electric impact is the way they bounce, you know. Okay, so push rods. Let's inspect all these, make sure they're all straight. Which I'm thinking they will be. Valve bridges, and these go a certain way, usually, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they go a certain way. A little, now, I remember, maybe these are not directional on these. Yeah, I don't think these are directional. I don't think it matters on this one. Four valve head. Pretty much everything you see this day and age has got a 4-valve head on it. Pretty uncommon to see anything without a 4-valve head. A little identification tab on the injector fell down in there. That's okay, we'll get her out of there. One valve bridge I'm having trouble getting out of there. There we go. The old Leatherman comes through again. There's a little, it broke, because that's the reason it came off, so I whacked it when the impact bounced. Dirty bugger, huh? That little identification tab is not much use now, is it? Okay, I'm trying to remember if those were Torx heads or Allens. They are Torx bits. Bits. Here you go, bits. Yeah, what size bits is that? What size is the bits on that? Bigger net bits. Smaller net bits. That's T45. There's T40. Ah, T40, right? It's a T40, it's a T45. Don't fit down in our, I reckon, T45. Yeah. T45. T45 don't act like it fits right. I wonder if that's a Torx Plus. Hang on, let me see if I got a Torx Plus that fits that. Must be a Torx Plus. Alright, well, one more feed tube to go. I pulled the nut off. I don't have the tool for this. I just grab it with my Nipex, just like that right there. And I took a bar in between that and the head. And I just pry them out of there. Okay, now, stickers. Wonderful magnet on there, hanging me up. Okay, let's see. down just a little bit. That way it goes up straight. That one was being a hard ass. Yeah, they're real fun with the rocker box on. You're trying to do it in the tractor. Like I always say, these damn engineers, they ought to come work on this shit themselves. All this stuff they design, you know. Put the bolt back in this one here, it kind of guides it, keeps it from hanging up on you, is what it does. Here we go. Alright. Start popping all these out of there now, and then we can start pulling cylinder head bolts. Come on, camera. I had it there a minute ago, and now it don't want to be there. So I'm gonna lay these like this. Damn it. Filter's plugging up on my heater. Oh, one more. Uno más, por favor. Alright, let's see, what else is attached to the head that's going to not come off and be a problem? How about where this all comes into play? So this line here needs to come loose. I guess we'll just take this off, I think would be the thing to do. This battery's about ready to die on this camera. Okay guys, getting ready to lift the head on it. One head bolt, man, I had to work it back and forth and work it back and forth and spray penetrating oil, and I finally got it out, but it was one of those that felt real spongy. You're thinking, oh shit, man, don't break. 9 liters, the heads are always broke, cracked on them. And then they always have broken rings, usually on the pistons. This hole's screwed up. Look how it's all scuffed right there. That hole is messed up. Hard to see the other one, I gotta roll around. That hole is a problem, number 3, right there. These things are always cracked in between the valves and usually all screwed up. Kind of like them heads on the 12.5s are kind of similar to that. They'll always be broke. I don't really see that one so far. I'll have to get it set down. But I want to continue on here with the disassembly process. So let me think here, what's next? Because I'm going to take the whole block outside and wash it real good when I got the thing apart. Cap all these lines here and cap everything fuel related, and then go out with the pressure washer and just wash the living hell out of it. It'd be a lot easier to manage without all this other, without all that shit on there, you know. But I don't want to lay in it. I gotta get some force sweep and get underneath it and get the oil sopped up. Okay, there's the dowel there. One thing that you'll notice with John Deere's, you don't really seem to have the troubles. I don't know what it is with John Deere, if they got better blocks or what, but you don't have problems with that whole liner dropping phenomenon as you do with other engines. Never really seen one with a John Deere do that. I mean, very, very rarely do you see that with a John Deere. So it's one thing that's good about them. Okay, let me proceed here. Alright, I got number 3 out, and that was the one that was really scuffing. And this is usually what you'll find with these 9 liters, is the top ring will be broke. And this one here, the second ring is fine, but the oil control ring is broke as well. Right where the split is, as you can see, part of that oil control ring is gone. So that would probably, the broken ring on the top, I mean, that's gonna promote the scuffing issue, but the oil control ring broken is really gonna promote it. So, and what causes that is, same things that used to happen to the ISXs, the early ones, the CM870s and 871s. They didn't have the updated pistons that they do now. And what they did is the EGR system. We might end up having to pull the crank on this one. I see a pretty good gouge here in this bearing, clear down to the bronze. So she might be getting a crank pulled out of her too. I'll have to look at it a little closer. But of course, these are fractured rod caps. But what happens, the EGR system basically carbons up the ringland grooves. So what happens is that carbon gets behind the ring and the ringland groove of the piston, and the crown of the piston, and so those rings are out against the cylinder wall. Well, what happens is they just keep expanding, they can't contract, and then it just keeps shoving them out until they get tighter and tighter against the cylinder wall until they break. So that's your wonderful emissions junk. As I say, the destroyer of engines. They've done just about everything they can to destroy the diesel engine industry. That's my take on it. So yeah, I mean, anything with diesel that used to be a benefit, you know, when I was a kid, a lot of guys were starting to buy like the 6.9 Fords and the old Chevy diesels, and the reason they were buying all these things is because the fuel was cheaper. They were more well, I can't really say that about their early ones. Some of those early diesels like the 6.9 and I never really thought they were too much, but the whole premise behind the whole diesel engine was they were more reliable, they lasted longer. Well, none of that's true anymore. The fuel's more expensive than gas. They probably are more problematic than a gas engine ever was now with all this crap on them. They've totally went contradictory to the premise of what they were made for. Everything, they've went completely backwards. You know, really, it's horrible. Seen this one's got broken ring too somewhere. Broken pieces coming out of here. Oh yeah, the top ring's broke. The top ring is, yeah, it's way shorter than what it's supposed to be. And what's our oil control ring look like on this one? It's still okay, but the top ring's broke, as it seems like they always are with these 9 liters. Very, very common, I guess I could say. I guess Matt got the master kit, but John Deere's master kit doesn't really come with. I like the aftermarket kits better because they actually come with more of the stuff that you need in the aftermarket kits. These master John Deere kits don't even come with valve stem seals. You got to order those separate. You know, I kind of think that for the money, I think it's this master kit from John Deere. This kit was like $9,500. You know, you would think for 9,500 bucks, you'd get a little bit more, but I mean, you don't even get a head. You don't get nothing. Ow, my finger. Guess we'll do number 1 and number 6 now. Well, I was turning it and then all of a sudden it quit, so. Now we'll do number 2 and 5 because they're on their way down. Okay. Alright, let's buzz. I always like to do one at a time with my caps on these. That way I keep my rod and cap numbers and all that stuff same. The right cap, the right rod. Now I just take and I'm not worried. I mean, it's getting new pistons, so it's got a steel one here that I get right up inside the skirt. Sometimes if I'm doing these two, I'll use a wooden piece to go up against the rod. If I do anything on the rod end down here, I use wood. I just put this right up here in the skirt. You got to be careful when you're doing this because sometimes, like an ISX, you'll push that up like that, and if you let go of your your device here, it'll fall back down and hit the crank journal. I might have a smudge on my camera lens here. This one has an actually completely intact set of rings on it. You'll find, I mean, I've had a couple of these 9 liters that every single top ring was broke on it when I tore it apart. Every single one. Let's look at the bearing that come off that one too. Definitely, this tractor, you know, I didn't even look at the hour meter. I just know Matt told me it had a lot of hours. So, I'm not sure what his definition for a lot of hours. And it was just like everything else. I was in a hurry to get it apart because I got so much crap to do. I didn't even pay attention to it. It's just kind of, we got to get going here because I know that the kit that he got did not come with a head. So we got to get the head sent off to the machine shop in Portland and get Carrie to go through it. Okay, number 5. Wait, that's the front, that's the back. Number 5. Okay. I know, where's your big fancy engine stand? Oh, I just don't want to spend the money on one. It is my prerogative. I'm a cheap bastard, I guess. So. And quite a bit of wear on these bearings too. Turned around here. Yeah, boy, these things do got quite a bit of wear on these bearings. Broken rings, yep, every time on these things. Top ring, broken half. Push the liners out of it. Probably get the studs out where the exhaust manifold was. Pull all the fittings out, put them in a Ziploc bag. That way, machine shop doesn't lose them. To be getting pretty close there. Okay, well guys, just 2 more to get out of there. As you can see, it's hard to tell, but let me get that other light. You'll see that number 3 is scuffing pretty bad. Can you see that? Wake up there. I'm trying to get the viewfinder on the camera to wake up. See how scuffed up that is? No good. You know, and the other ones that had the broken rings, well, that one there is actually